Hey everybody, welcome back to Real Estate 360. My name is Brad Myers. I am a 20-year home inspector turned real estate agent with Harmony Realty Group right here in Fulton County, Ohio. On this channel, I answer a lot of questions that home buyers and sellers have regarding the real estate market. And today I'm going to go over the home buying process from start to finish. So stick around. Okay, so I don't believe in long introductions. I'm gonna jump from this camera down to my laptop and we're gonna get right into it. Okay, so here we go. We have the home buying process flow chart that I've put together, and I'll have a copy of this down below so you guys can download this, print it off, keep it with you, whatever you want. But we're gonna get started over here on the left. Right here is my smiling face. You want to find an agent that you know, like, and trust. Most agents think they're the best thing out there, and definitely there are many fantastic agents. But honestly, the best agent is the one that you feel most comfortable with. I'm the type of person that likes to interject humor in almost everything I do.
Surely you can't be serious.
I am serious. And don't call me Shirley.
I believe it helps to, lighten the mood and remove tension out of the air whenever necessary. However, some people simply won't appreciate that type of personality. Some people may, prefer a more serious, straightforward type of person.
I don't know how to put this, but I'm kind of a big deal.
You're going to be spending a lot of time with your agent, sharing personal information, financial stuff, relying on them to give you prompt, accurate information on the countless questions that you're going to have throughout this whole process. You're going to be making one of the largest purchases of your lifetime. This is not a time to choose just anyone. Choose someone that you can relate to and that, makes you feel comfortable. And then next, after you found your agent, you're going to be concentrating on the lending process. There are countless lenders out there with several different types of loan programs available. Your agent's definitely going to be a great resource to help you through this process. Not because agents get any kind of kickback or referral fee, because we don't, but because agents know which lenders, get the job done with very little hassle. We have learned over the years that who has the best programs to meet your specific needs. So first off, you need to get pre-approved with your lender. This part is absolutely crucial before you even start the house hunting process. You need to know that the bank's actually going to lend you money, and you need to know how much you can comfortably afford every month in the form of a mortgage payment. Then we move down here to provide all documents that the bank's going to be looking for. Now, depending on whether you are self-employed or you work for someone else full time, what the bank requires is going to differ a little bit. So, if you're employed with someone, the bank's going to ask for W-2 forms from your employer for the previous 2 years. Next, they're going to ask for current pay stubs, and then they're going to ask for tax returns for the previous 2 years, personal bank statements for the previous 2 months, and then some sort of identification, normally just a driver's license. However, if you're self employed, they're going to be asking for a profit and loss statement. This reports the business revenue, the net income, and the expenses and debits that the company has. And then they're also going to ask for the bank statements for the previous 2 months. They're going to ask for a business tax return for the most recent year. And then, of course, they're going to need some sort of identification. Again, probably just a driver's license. And then after the bank looks over this information, they're going to look into your credit score and they're going to look into your debt to income ratio. And if all this looks acceptable, they're going to give you a pre approval letter. Now, this process can take anywhere from a couple of hours to a couple of days, just depending on your specific situation. Now, once you and your agent have found the house that you've been looking for and your agent submits their offer for you, that pre approval letter is going to go along with that offer because most sellers will not accept your offer without one. And of course, that brings us to the next couple steps. Find your favorite home, make an offer, and negotiate that offer back and forth with the seller. Now, sometimes the process of finding your home is very quick and easy. Other times it can be kind of a longer process. It really depends on what you're looking for and what's currently available on the market. But I will say, with the market that we are currently in and that we're likely to stay in for the next 12 months, Having your ducks in a row is very important. When you find that perfect house, you're going to want an agent that can help you negotiate that offer and is ready to submit that offer immediately. Because you can be sure there are several other buyers out there looking at the exact same house. But as long as you've worked closely with your agent to write the cleanest possible offer and you're pre approved, you have a very good chance of getting your offer accepted. Okay, so let's say you've submitted your offer, you've kind of negotiated it back and forth with the seller. Ultimately, the seller has accepted your offer. Now, that offer is contingent on two things. Number one, financing, and number two, the home inspection. The contingency on financing, we'll talk about that here in a few steps later. But right now, I want to concentrate on the home inspection process. These two boxes right here. Now, this step is completely optional. You don't have to have a home inspection done. However, I strongly recommend that you do because you want to know exactly what you're buying. You don't want any hidden surprises down the road. The inspection is going to be an out-of-pocket expense, meaning that you pay for the inspection yourself because, like I say, it is completely optional. Normally, the inspection is going to run between $300 and $800, depending on who you hire and if you choose any add-ons. For example, the pest inspection or a radon inspection or thermal imaging. There are several different things you can add on to the basic home inspection. Now, once you call up an inspector and say, "Hey, I want you to inspect my house for me," generally they'll schedule that inspection within a couple of days. I strongly recommend that you're there with the inspector during the home inspection. This is a time when you can learn a great deal about the house that you're considering buying. And once that inspection is completed, you're going to receive a detailed report with several pictures in it, outlining any major deficiencies with the house. And once you get that report, you read it over, and you have one of three options. Number one, if you look it over the report and you don't really see anything major with the house, you can just simply move on with the home buying process. Or number two, if there are any major issues that you think need attention, you can negotiate to have the seller make these repairs themselves, or you can ask them to reduce the sale price of the home so that you can make the repairs after you've bought the house, or maybe a combination of both. And then finally, number three, maybe the repairs are just more than what you anticipated. Maybe there's more wrong with the house than what you thought. You can just simply walk away from the purchase of the house. You can just tell the seller, what, we didn't realize the house had this many issues. But just know that if you choose this option, any earnest money that you have put down with your offer may or may not be returned to you. It really depends on how the contract's written. Okay, so let's say that the inspection goes fine, everything looks great. At this point, your lender will contact an appraiser. This process generally takes about 2 weeks before you end up knowing the results. And depending on what type of loan program you have, your lender may require you to pay for the appraisal out of pocket. This is generally between $300 and $500, or the lender may have that fee wrapped up into your loan. Either way, the appraiser will give the lender his or her opinion of the value of the home. Now, this part's very important. The lender will only loan up to the appraised value of the house. So let's say you made an offer for 200,000 and the appraiser says the house is only worth 190. The bank will only lend up to 190,000. And if this turns out to be the case, you have one of three options. You, as the purchaser, will need to bring money to the closing table to make up the difference.
The hell I am? I know, hell no.
So let's say you made a $200,000 offer. The appraiser says it's only worth 190. There's a $10,000 gap there. You're going to need to bring a $10,000 check to closing to make up that difference. I never recommend this option. I never recommend that a buyer purchase a home for more than the appraised value.
What an idiot.
Or number two, we ask that the seller reduce the sale price of the home down to the appraised value. Or your third option is, just like with the inspection, you can just decide to walk away. If the seller doesn't want to lower the price, or you don't want to bring a check to the closing, you can just say, what, we just can't agree. We're just going to walk away from the purchase of the home. But again, Just like with the inspection, you may or may not have that earnest money returned to you. Okay, so let's say the appraisal comes back and everything looks good, and really 99% of the time it does work out that way. The bank is going to continue on with the loan application and processing. The pre-approval letter that you received before was only part of the whole process. At this point, your lender is going to ask for more documentation to verify your income and expenses. This information will be collected and then all sent to underwriting department for pre-approval. So that brings us down here to underwriting. Now, while the underwriting is down there doing their job, your lender is going to call up a title company and ask them to start a title search. And that brings us over here to these three squares right here. Now, the title company is going to be doing a couple of different things. Number one, they're going to be doing a title search. They want to make sure that the seller is actually the rightful owner of their property. And they also want to make sure there are no outstanding liens against the house so that you can own this house free and clear. But they're also going to be doing a property survey. They want to make sure the boundaries of the property look all right. Let's say you're buying a house that sits on 2 acres. They want to make sure there's actually 2 acres there. And then once the title company has these two things completed, they're going to be waiting on the underwriting company for a final loan approval. They're going to be waiting for a clear to close. And once they get that clear to close, then they're going to call up the seller and the lender and say, okay, we're ready for closing. We need to set a time and date that works well for both the seller and the buyer. And then at that point, it's going to be time for you as the buyer to do your final walkthrough right here. This whole process generally takes between 30 and 45 days. So, there's a lot that can happen from the last time you've seen the house. So just before you close on the house, you want to go back in and make sure, the house looks just like you think it should look. And then finally, if everything looks great, you end up going to closing. Now, depending on how the contract is written, you're either going to receive possession at closing or you're going to receive possession at a predetermined date into the future. But this will all have been negotiated back here in the contract. So there won't be any surprises on closing day. Sometimes the seller needs that couple weeks to get their affairs in order before they hand over the keys. Again, this will all be negotiated when you've made the initial offer. So there you have it, the home buying process from start to finish. I hope this was helpful. My information is right here. Don't be afraid to give me a call, shoot me a text, email me, however you want to get a hold of me. So, all right, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Take care.